The New York Times covered for Donald Trump's completely incoherent answer about childcare and paying for childcare. This is the one we looked at earlier in the show where Trump is asked, how are you going to deal with paying for childcare, bringing down the cost of childcare? Trump talks about tariffs, and also he talks about Marco Rubio and Ivanka. Incoherent in its sum total. Here is how the actual answer went. And we've got a little transcript of it to put up on the screen. I'm not going to play the entire video or read this whole thing, but this is the actual answer from Trump. Well, I would do that. We had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, childcare is childcare. You have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. Okay. And he went on and he dissembled, and it was totally ridiculous. In the New York Times summary of what took place there, a guy named Michael Gold summarized that incident the following way. Quote, after his speech, Donald Trump was asked how he might address rising childcare costs. In a jumbled answer, he said he would prioritize legislation on the issue, but offered no specifics, and insisted that his other economic policies, including tariffs, would take care of childcare. And then he includes a little quote about Trump, where he argues childcare is much cheaper than the amount of money that will come in via tariffs. This is a sane washing of what Donald Trump said. This does not give anyone the correct understanding that Trump barely understood the question and spit out random words when answering, including words like Marco Rubio and Ivanka. Now, I know that you might say, David, you're being a little bit hard on Michael Gold. Michael Gold did say the answer was jumbled. Okay, the problem here is that it is still presented primarily as Trump giving an answer. Giving an answer. He did not give an answer. If Biden had given such an answer, it would be a 24-hour loop on right-wing media that the 25th Amendment must be used immediately to remove Biden from office because of cognitive decline, and he can't be the nominee, and he can't tie his shoes, and he can't pick whether he wants ketchup or mustard on his hot dog. Okay? Here, instead, we have the answer was jumbled, but he said he would prioritize legislation that includes tariffs. This is a sane washing of what Donald Trump said. And one of the problems is, and I don't want to pick on Michael Gold specifically because this goes more broadly to editorial policy. The problem is that Trump's brain is failing so seriously that you don't really have editorial policies at most of these institutions that account for how do we report about a guy who just about every time he opens his mouth raises questions as to whether he's even remotely here cognitively. So there's a major malfunction here that's taking place. How do we report on it? This isn't it. Now, as an alternative for how we should be talking about this, let's talk about what happened on the 5 with Jessica Tarlov.